anyone feel? I mean, he might be injured now, actually. But does anyone feel that Sean Longstaff is unlucky not to have got an England call up?
No.
Nah.
Scored against PSG.
Nah.
Ran that
I
midfield.
think Anthony Gordon is unlucky not to get an England call up.
I think Sterling's
I think
unlucky not to get an England call up.
I think if we're calling up Longstaff, we might as well call up his brother as well and get them both in.
May.
But is that just because it's
yeah.
Sean Longstaff? Is that just because it's Sean Longstaff? Is his name
it's
Longstaff?
because he's not a very good football player.
Just think he's not good at it. Who you leaving? Gareth Southgate did it the other day, didn't he, in his press conference? So I'll do it to you. Who are you leaving out? James Ward-Prowse didn't even get. James Ward-Prowse didn't even get a pick up. Have you seen any of
I'm just asking.
Season?
Exactly.
Yeah,
no
have
one
you
has.
seen Jordan Henderson at all?
No one has.
He probably has. He's England manager. Have you? How do you not know he's not scored 8 goals out in Saudi?
He could score fucking
5
500
assists.
goals. He's playing against the standard of Sunday League.
Yeah. Football Feast, this the Football Feast Extra Podcast, ay, Football Feast, Football Feast Extra Podcast, playing soccer, grabbing cleats, playing soccer, time to meet, playing soccer, time to greet, they finna talk a lot, okay, playing soccer, get the cleats, playing soccer, let's get it, playing soccer, let's go, Football Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Football Feast Extra Podcast. I'm here with Baron and Billy. Another crazy weekend of football. Sunderland won, didn't they?
Sure did.
Sunderland
Rudy's absolutely terrible.
Well, he come out with what did he come out with after the game?
I see it.
Ref, didn't
He blamed. Yeah, I did actually watch it. He said that I think the refs were a bit scared of the home atmosphere, and they got a few decisions that were favourable to them.
Like the Sunderland fans were booing because the ref was that bad. Like this Bakuno, whatever his name is, must have tackled bad tackle about 4 times. Nothing. Patrick Roberts kicked the ball away because he wasn't getting booked, and he kept getting booted, and he got booked for it.
Yeah,
but they got battered. Birmingham got battered.
Yeah, he don't like losing, does he, Rooney?
Yeah.
I mean, a win for Arsenal, loss for Tottenham. Good weekend for you, Baron.
Great weekend. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant weekend, in fact. City drew. Liverpool still won. Spurs lost. My fantasy Premier League hit 99 points.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah, look out for my depressing FPL show next week. I did it terribly. That'll be out.
Fuming that Pau Torres conceded late on not to get me the 100-point mark.
Yeah, I'd be well annoyed if I just missed it by 1.
It did actually infuriate me a little bit, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Done better than I did.
But I was this close to captaining Martinelli as well after seeing what he did in Europe, thinking, Joe, I reckon he might do a bit. Oh, mate, that would have ruined my day.
Well, at least you didn't captain Kieran Trippier, who got 2 points.
I just got an email, actually, from Fantasy Football. 104,000 people captained Trippier.
Did they?
104,000 people. He was the 3rd most capped player.
Really? I was trying to be different.
Probably the only one that captained fucking Hoyland.
It's the Hoyland thing.
No, I don't think it is.
I thought he was. Did he miss a sitter from the 6-yard box as well?
Yeah, I heard. So did Garnacho. I had Garnacho with my team. You had Hoyland, and I read the match report, and it was like, oh yeah, they both missed sitters in the first half.
Even though Man United, we'll go into a bit of Man United, shall we? We'll go into Man United for a minute. Even though they are the most informed team in the Premier League, I just don't have any confidence in any of their players. From the goalkeeper to the striker, there's not one player that I think I could have in my team right now.
Even against Luton.
Even against Luton, mate. I'm telling you now. This is what I mean. People would say that stat come up, didn't they? That Man United are the most informed team. They beat Fulham away in the 90th minute. I don't know if it was a fluky goal or whatever, but 1-0, and they beat Luton at home. You know, Luton, you're talking about Luton, the Championship side, 1-0.
Brentford in the last seconds, weren't it?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's not. And the one game they did lose, they got fucking spanked, didn't they? Let's be honest, by Man City.
Yeah, that record is very, very padded. They're the most informed team.
It looks better than what it is, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, if it happened to Arsenal, I wouldn't argue with it, and I'd sit there and take it. But yeah, it's papering over the cracks.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, yeah.
So a question for you then, whilst we're on Man United, January transfer windows, it's a little bit away, but it's sort of around the corner. Do United go out and spend a load of money, or do you think they will just go with what they've got?
Well, counteract that question. Who can they buy? You tell me who they could buy. Maybe would they go out and spend another 80 million, 90 million on, say, that Osimhen from Napoli when they've already brought a striker for 80 million?
No, I don't think they do. I've heard Anthony might
I think
be
they need to buy, but they won't.
What do they need to buy?
I think they need quite a lot.
They need to buy, sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
But I don't think they will. I don't think they'll spend much more. They've spent quite a lot.
What's this rumour going around? I don't know if you've heard it. It's not really a rumour. It's what people's questioning, like the Varane and Casemiro. They're not actually as good. There's a reason why Real Madrid sold them, because they didn't think they were past their best, basically. What do we think of that?
100% they're past their best. Casemiro is not going to be the Casemiro he was at 25, was he? How old is he now? 34, 35?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that old, but he's. I thought he was like 32. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And
Same as Varane.
I didn't realise Varane had started the last 4 games on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, he had a big injury when he come back from quite a big injury.
Varane, 4-time Champions League winner Varane, is getting started or getting benched over Lindelof, Maguire, and Johnny Evans.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. And you can't say Johnny Evans is a spring chicken. He's 35, 36. So
yeah.
Well, he's injured now, isn't he? So he won't be playing anytime soon.
That's the thing with United. They've got I mean, I know that I've got a thing about injuries in a minute, in a bit, but they do have a lot of injuries, don't they, Man United? It's just at the back, it's all in at one position, really. They've got
but
everyone.
So does everyone. So does everyone, doesn't it?
Who's Spurs for Man United? Because Varane's fit. Lindelof's fit. Maguire's fit.
Martinez is injured, isn't he? Lissandro Martinez is still injured.
Wan-Bissaka?
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw's injured.
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know if Wan-Bissaka is injured.
No, actually,
Wan-Bissaka's
I think he is
fit. Dalot is fit. Reguilon, Maguire, Varane, Lindelof.
Because Reguilon was injured because he was signed as the replacement left back. I mean, a lot of them, to be fair, are coming back now. But he was signed as and he got injured. Casemiro was injured. Varane was injured. They had so many injuries. I mean, I know a lot of teams have got injuries, but United for some reason just don't seem to have the depth to cope with it. And this is the thing that Man United is supposed to be, and they are a big team, but they somehow don't have the depth.
Again, whose fault is that? They've spent so much money, and you're sitting there saying that they ain't got the depth. I mean, how much money can one club spend?
But they haven't got the depth, right? You just go right back. Wan-Bissaka, Dalot. They're 2 very good right backs.
Yeah.
Left back, Reguilon, Shaw. They're 2 good left backs. Then you've got Varane, Martinez, Maguire, Lindelof.
2 World Cup winners there.
We'll leave Evans out. But you've got 4 or 5 centre backs. You've got to put 2 players in each right back and left back who aren't shit players.
So where are you going with this? The manager's shit.
Well, I'm not defending Man United. I'm pointing out a fact that they had a lot of injuries. I'm not saying that they should be excused or I'm not defending them. I'm just pointing out that they had a lot of injuries and that they have players that can play in those positions. But I personally don't rate Maguire really. He's okay for England. He is. Maybe he's just better suited to international football, but I don't really rate him. Obviously Evans we left out. Varane is obviously a good player, but he's past it and he's always injured now. That they just the players they have to come in. I like Dalot. I like Wan-Bissaka, but I just don't think
Wan-Bissaka,
I think they need to go out and buy another defender, really. A young defender.
They're just be stacked up with defenders. So.
I like Luke Shaw.
I like
Luke Shaw as well, to be fair. I actually look at Man United's team and think they've got a great team and they should be doing miles better. And I still can't get over how all these Man United fans sit there and go, we're happy with what's going on. How can you be happy with what's going on? Or they're not happy, but he's the right man for the job. Is he? I see someone the other day.
Ten Hag. Sorry, I looked into Ten Hag's managerial career. Right?
Yeah.
He was at some team called Go Ahead Eagles.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
in
Dutch.
Holland, which he got promoted somewhere. Then he went to Bayern Munich reserves.
Yeah.
Straight into the Ajax job. Obviously, you're going to win titles at Ajax, and then you get the Man United job.
I think it's because he did so well in the Champions League, didn't he? He got to the semi-finals, didn't he?
But Tottenham got to the final that year.
Yeah,
He was fucking Tottenham.
yeah, true. Yeah,
It's because he worked
It
with
wasn't
Pep,
a
isn't
very
it?
good
He was-
thingy, was it?
Wasn't he with Pep at Bayern Munich? Anyone that works with Pep, I mean Arteta, when he went into Arsenal, he had literally he was assistant manager at City after he retired, thrown straight into the Arsenal job. I swear,
Yeah,
if you
and
work
you would
with
say
Pep,
that's a
you
massive
just-
risk, and he was only a few
Massive
results
risk.
away probably from getting sacked.
I'd have
Yeah,
sacked him. If it was down to me,
Exactly.
he would have been gone. Because I don't, even though he's obviously doing a great job now, and I'll hold my hands up. But like, definitely winning that FA Cup kept him that job for probably a good couple of years. Because in his first full season, he finished 8th. You know, this was a whole year of him looking after the Arsenal squad. I mean, it's unbelievable what him and Edu have done at that club now. It's unbelievable. I'd never have thought it in a million years that they would get the club to where they are. Never. I'd have thought that would have taken 10 years to do, and they've done it in 3. So
That
fair
risk
play to
paid
them.
off.
Yeah,
The Ten Hag risk, because he is unproven. He's won a couple of titles at Ajax. So that's not proving yourself as a top-class manager. And the risk failed, and you just need to get rid of him before.
They keep doing this though, United, don't they?
goes
They
really
keep. I
tits
mean,
up.
that Ranić apparently he had quite a reputation when he came for United. I'd never heard of him. He'd never really done anything as a manager. I don't think that was.
I was going to say, I think he was more of a director than a manager, wasn't he? And he was just meant to go in there to steady the ship.
Which he
But
obviously
again,
didn't.
right, he came out with
No.
he come out with loads of like points, didn't he? This is not good enough. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. And that's everything you hear now. Everything he, Mourinho, all that have said for years is all.
Yeah.
We're watching it all now, and it's all
They
true.
had probably 2 of the best managers in the world managing their club. Didn't 2? Sorry. Well, Mourinho, sorry. No, managing their club. You know, they could have had a Conte, and they decided he weren't the right fit. I mean, other than the job he did at Tottenham, but I don't think he wanted that job, did he? I think he just took that. You know, he's won everything, Conte. Why wouldn't you want him as a manager? You know, why would you not want him as your manager?
Louis van Gaal, he's like obviously he done terrible at United, but he's not a bad manager.
No.
No.
I mean, what, mate? Mourinho, all right, maybe he lost his way a little bit, but you know, he's still a world class manager, he's still a top manager. You know, he's done an amazing job at Roma, really, winning that Europa League 2 seasons ago, or Conference League, whichever one it was. Conference League, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they did pretty well. Didn't they get to the final of the Europa League last year as well? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
he's obviously getting his sort of tune back together. But I just.
Is this third
Yeah,
season? Though?
just-
It's all going to come downhill now. Third season for Mourinho.
I think it is, isn't it? I think they're not doing very well at all this season, Roma.
Oh, they are.
I did see they drew 0-0 with Lazio, and Jose Mourinho's come out and said that Pedro should be a swimmer or something because of his diving, and that was a player he used to have at Chelsea.
I fucking love Mourinho. He's so good for the game.
He just
Yeah.
don't care, does he? He just don't care. But yeah, let's just move on from Man United. I've got a few tweets and of things that happened over the weekend. We've got a lot of games to talk about. So let's go into the first one. First one is about Newcastle, and this is from TNT Sport, right? And this is talking about the injuries that we mentioned earlier. The tweet is a tough week for Newcastle. Tuesday 2-0 loss for Borussia Dortmund. Saturday 2-0 loss versus Bournemouth. With lots of players suffering injuries, is the number of games they are facing taking its toll? And my question off the back of this is, look, it just seems to be happening in the Premier League. It always happens in the Premier League every season. It's not just Newcastle. There's loads of teams with loads of injuries. Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing scheduling wise? Like, I know we don't have the winter break and everything, but we just seem to be running our teams into the ground.
Right, this is going to sound stupid because I'm going to take it off Football Manager, right? But as you guys know, I've been managing Club Brugge in Belgium. There's hardly any games. Like, I have a game a week. When I got to the Champions League, I had a couple of weeks where it was a game, like 2 games. I'm manager of Sunderland now, right? And there's fucking 3 a week.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you know
playing
what I
3
think
in
it
like
is?
8 days.
Do you know what I think it is? It's the standard of football. So the Premier League is so much higher than the rest of the leagues in the world. You look at
definitely
Real
a lot
Madrid,
more
for
physical.
example. Yeah, you look at Real Madrid, for example. What they play: Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, right? Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Who else? Yeah, that's pretty much it in that league, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? They might have the hard game against Valencia. I don't even think they're that good anymore, Valencia. Villarreal might be all right occasionally, but do you know, Seville are like bottom of the league at the moment.
Real Madrid aren't even top of their league, or Barcelona. It's some team.
It's Granada or whatever. Yeah,
Granada.
but But that ain't the point, though, is it? And then, like, you go to PSG, just PSG. Do you know what I mean? You go to France, it's just PSG. You know, like, say, you go to Holland, it's just Ajax. You go to Germany, and that's Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean? So, but in England, you've got Man City, you've got Liverpool, you've got Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Newcastle. You've got 8 teams, didn't you? That are, and I think that's the problem. It's just the quality of football. You need to be at the top of your game to win all these games. You look at that. Newcastle beat Arsenal 1-0, go and lose to Bournemouth 2-0, and lose to Dortmund 2-0 because they've just run out of steam because they're playing. You know, it's too hard.
I think you've also got to look at the type of injuries as well. Like to look at
most of them are muscle strains, aren't they?
Yeah. So like you got a few with like just ankle, like knocks on their ankle and stuff. That's just going to happen throughout the season. Yeah. You have got a couple suspended, haven't you? Bruno suspended, obviously Tonali suspended, and then the rest are like shoulder injury. Murphy's been out for a while with that. He only just come back, didn't he, for the Arsenal game?
And then he came off again, didn't he? Yeah.
And then I think they got like just looking at it, there's a few like most of them are knocks, and there's a few back injuries.
Yeah. I just think
thigh injuries.
I think this is why I think as well, like the foreign clubs do win the Champions League more often than the English clubs because they can rest players so much more than what the English clubs can. But that's why our league is the best league in the world. And this comes to my question because this comes in quite well now. Considering that, this is my question, right? Considering that the top 5 teams are only separated by 3 points, do you two still think that Man City have made this into a farmers' league?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because come February, they'll be 8-9 points clear.
Do you reckon?
And I'm glad you asked that question because I was just going to go into that
but they
as well.
don't.
Because I think. I mean, who would have said at the start of the season? I mean, people said Aston Villa would be all right, but after their 5-2 demolition by Newcastle, like who would have thought that they'd be 3 points behind Man City after 12 games?
Yeah, true.
I didn't, especially after that Newcastle performance. Sure.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Also, Man City are slow starters, aren't they? Man City never start.
Generally slow starters because he likes to fiddle with his team at the start of the season, doesn't he? And then with like 15 games to go, he goes back to his trusted 11.
Yeah, by Feb they'll be 8-9 points clear. I think.
But what you're saying about like a farmers' league and that the Prem maybe isn't one. If you look at like the French league, I can't actually remember who it was. Didn't someone else win that league a few years ago? That wasn't PSG. Like someone managed to get
Lille won it, didn't they?
Lille managed to get the title off them. And that's a bit like what's happening in England, right? Because Man City pretty much win it every year. The odd year, someone will beat them to it, and it'll be like, oh, someone else has won the league. But isn't that like still the definition?
PSG win it by 25 points. Man City won it by 5 points last year, which really and truly shouldn't have been 5 points. It should have been less points. And I don't know what they won it the year before, but.
And my other question is about, I'll follow on from that, is that surely if you're a team, right, that's so much better than every other team and you're just dominating, passing it around in the whole game, every game, surely like the other teams are more likely to kick the crap out of your players playing that way. You know what I mean? I'm talking about injuries. You know, but the other leagues don't seem to have this problem. Like we go into European games, like quarterfinals, Champions League. There'll be the odd person out, but you never go into like a Champions League quarterfinal and PSG's whole front three are out and Mbappe's on the sidelines for 6 months. It just isn't. It just never happens.
Again, because it's the standard of football isn't there. Do you know what I mean? The standard football isn't there. Like they just.
But like, if you was playing Sunday League against
I just put it all
way better, you'd kick them, wouldn't you? You'd be injured.
Yeah, but some of them are too good to fucking jump round you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some of them are that good, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
Some of them are that quick. I mean,
just
like
go
that.
to quickly Newcastle's injuries, and because you talked about Man United's injuries earlier, so Newcastle is a team that is actually ravaged by injury, like their top players as well.
Yeah, because that Isaac's out.
Just wanted to put that.
Yeah. Isaac's out, Bruno's suspended, like I say, but...
I tell you, somebody who wanted us to all know about their injuries is Kieran Trippier, who went over and told his fans that all the players are injured. Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird. Apparently they said you had no heart or something, didn't they? And he just lost it, didn't he?
Yeah, I was talking about, have you seen our injury list? I mean, Billy, I know you like a bit of that, a bit of the players giving it back. What did you think of that? I mean, I know it's Newcastle, but take your Sunderland head off for a minute.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think if we're there, I know like everyone's like, oh, we pay more money, we can say what we want. You can't say what you want. You can't just go around saying shit to people. If someone says something back, you can't be like, "Oh, that's not fair. You shouldn't be doing that."
I disagree. I think you do pay your money. You should say what you want. But I have no problem with Trippier. But I think Trippier's right in that instant because, like, how dare a Newcastle fan tell a Newcastle player they ain't got the heart or they ain't trying enough? Mate, they were bottom of the league 18 months ago. They're in the Champions League. You can't tell me they're not trying. Yeah, you can't tell me they're not trying hard enough, mate. They're probably knackered.
I do agree that you can say what you want. I do agree that you can say if you pay your money, you can go there, you can give us some abuse, but expect some back if you're going to give it. You can't just go around life just fucking going, "Oh yeah, you're a dickhead." Someone's going to say something back to you.
If I turn around to Harry Kane and said, "You're a dickhead, mate," if he turned around to me and said, "Well, you're a dickhead," I wouldn't have a problem with it. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, "Fair enough." Yeah, I probably have. Yeah. I am calling him one. Yeah. So I mean, banner, isn't it?
But with Trippier saying that though, I mean, I may have completely looked at this the wrong way, but with Trippier saying that, is he almost saying that the players in his squad that are playing aren't good enough? That's his excuse. We've got a lot of injuries. Yeah. This is why we're not.
Maybe. I think what it was is they had a lot of young players playing, didn't they? They had that Lewis, whatever his name was, in centre midfield. That Lewis Hall played at left back. Didn't have a striker up. But this is another thing I find a bit annoying. A bit like Arsenal. I mean, it worked for Arsenal the other day, but like surely there must be a decent youth striker in the team, banging in goals in the under-21s. Why not give them a go? Because all this false nine, I'm not a massive fan of it. I'll be honest. I'm not a massive fan of false nines. I think you've got to play a number 9, or you've got to play a striker. Whether they're a number 9.
So Sunderland last year had no striker.
Yeah.
And we actually done all right. This year, we've got 2 permanents and a loan. We're still not playing them. It's like, nah, it's working fine without.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, yeah. I know Pep basically won the league without a striker, but I still think sometimes, like Arteta, it does do a bit of fucking Pep watching. Sure of it. You need a striker. If we had a striker, if Sunderland had a striker last season, we would have got promoted. I think we would have won them games. Yeah. You need a striker up there. You need a striker. Well, yeah. If we had if we had Harry Kane last season, we win the league.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, or Haaland.
Final question on Newcastle. You might shoot me down completely, but anyone feel? I mean, he might be injured now actually, but does anyone feel that Sean Longstaff is unlucky not to have got an England call up?
No.
Scored against PSG. Ran that midfield.
I think Anthony Gordon is unlucky not to get an England call up.
I think Sterling's unlucky not to get an England call up.
I think if we're calling up Longstaff, we might as well call up his brother as well and get them both in.
May.
But is that just because it's Sean Longstaff? Is that just because it's Sean Longstaff? Is his name Longstaff?
Because he's not a very good football player.
Just think he's not good at it. Who are you leaving? Gareth Southgate did it the other day, didn't he, in his press conference? So I'll do it to you. Who are you leaving out? James Ward-Prowse didn't even get. James Ward-Prowse didn't even get a pick up.
Yeah, he should have been in there as well. I'm not actually saying that Longstaff.
Have you seen any of
there? I'm just asking.
Season?
Exactly.
Yeah,
no one
has. Have you
has.
seen Jordan Henderson at all?
No one has.
He probably has. He's England manager. Have you? How do you not know he's not scored 8 goals out in Saudi?
He could score fucking 500 goals. He's playing against the standard of Sunday League.
I don't care. I think, but you've got to admit, Jordan Henderson is a better player than Sean Longstaff, no?
I'm not saying that Sean Longstaff should be in. I'm asking the question. I'm saying that James Ward-Prowse is unlucky. I just asked the question about Sean Longstaff. Is he unlucky? Considering Gareth Southgate comes out and says about form. I'm not talking about ability, I'm talking about form. Right?
I'm glad
Sean Longstaff ran that midfield against PSG. He's been...
Yes, one game.
He started every game again for Newcastle. He's been good.
Right, I've got a counter question for you. What do you feel about Ramsdale being inside this time?
Well, Ramsdale being in the England squad?
Yeah. Pope's not.
Probably
one's playing, one ain't.
It shouldn't be. He's not playing. He's not in form. He's not playing. He shouldn't be in the England squad.
Well, I'm glad you're not England manager.
But I haven't heard anyone say anything about him. But because Harry Maguire, but because Henderson's playing in Saudi, he's being booed by his own fans and that. There you go, you.
I wouldn't boo him.
No one said anything about Ramsdale.
As long as Henderson is playing football and he's playing well, I don't see a problem with him being in the England squad. And that's the same with any player. I don't care what league they play in. As long as they're playing well. But I am glad that Cole Palmer got called up because I think he's playing very well and he's starting to look like a bit of a bowler. I know he's just scored penalties, but he is looking good.
If Cole Palmer was playing for West Ham, would he have got that call up?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
not.
he's playing for a terrible Chelsea team. I mean, I think Sterling's unlucky not to get a call up. And what do we make as well? Sorry, same topic, but different question. With him coming out at Reece James a little bit, saying, he might not get an England call up now because he didn't refuse to go, but he didn't want to go because he felt he weren't fit enough. What do you think of that?
I think if the England manager calls you, you go.
You go.
Yeah,
you go. And if you're refusing to play, then maybe you should leave. Maybe you shouldn't be in the next couple of squads at least.
With the last international break, Bukayo Saka was injured, right? They made him go, have a fitness test with England, and then sent him back. But he still went, even though he knew he wasn't fit enough. And that's what it should be.
That scares me.
What? That
scares me. They can't trust the club. Yeah, they can't trust the club because he's injured at the moment, isn't he? He's been called up again, but they do reckon he will be fit enough to play this time.
Yeah, because he played at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, if you get the call up, you go. If you refuse, then you should be left out the next couple. Definitely. Like this when David Bentley refused to play for the under-21s because he said, what did he say? He wants to play. He doesn't want to play under-21s anymore. He wants international football.
So he got called up to the first team squad. Didn't play a single minute, for 2 games. Didn't play a single minute, but then got called up to the under-21s European squad, and he decided he didn't want to. Yeah, he said, "Oh, I'm too tired. I feel too fatigued. I don't want to play."
Shouldn't play for England ever again.
Well, he never did he?
No.
No, he didn't. He was one of them that just didn't like it. Did he? Didn't like football. He retired really early, didn't he, David Bentley?
Well, it's shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah. All right, let's
just quickly back to the England squad, and I do, like I said, Anthony Gordon I think was really unlucky, and Sterling. Now I think they both should have been probably called up.
I've got a
bit of a sort of question to ask. Do you know what? I was looking at the England squad, right? Our midfield, right? If you take Bellingham and Rice out of it, we are well lacking in midfield, central midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing I think. As much as we've got some good strikers, we've got some good wingers. I know people say, Phil Foden play centre mid, but could he play in Declan Rice's position? I don't think he could.
We are that bad. People are calling for James Ward-Prowse to play for England.
That's I mean.
How bad we are.
I mean, Calvin Phillips needs to leave Man City in January, 100%.
Yeah.
In my opinion, 100%. He actually did look like a good England player. He can't get a minute. They're a minute in a Man City shirt. That's got to be one of the worst moves. Or if I was him, I'd sack my agent straight away and go, "This is the worst move I could have made." But, there must have been other clubs interested.
Up at a West Ham, a Villa, maybe even a West Ham.
There's been strong links with Newcastle, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's strong links with Newcastle. I mean, even Arsenal have been linked with him, but I personally don't think he's good enough.
No, I don't want him.
Nah.
No. Let's move on to a bit more of a. I mean, I don't even know if this is football related technically, but I wanted to bring it up. You probably missed this because you were watching the Sunderland game, and it was on at the same time as Wolves versus Tottenham. So who saw in the coverage about the body cams for the warm ups? Who asked for that? Who? So, in case you missed it, in case you didn't see what happened, they put a body cam on Brennan Johnson and watched him literally jog on the spot. And we're going on about how innovative it is and how this is the next big thing.
Are they trialing it though? Because I know that they've picked 2 games this season that they're going to actually have a body cam on someone during the Premier League football match.
Game. I suppose if that's what they're doing, then fair enough.
Trialing it. But I don't want to ruin the question, but
they just on coverage it wasn't clear. They just made such a big deal of it, and
I think they're trying to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, they were showing it and talking, and I was just I'm just watching this guy jog on the spot.
I don't think I'd be very good at that.
They had it in the summer series. I think it was Chelsea, Fulham, Villa, someone else, and Douglas Luiz, I think it was, or Tielemans. He used one during the whole game, and it did make me feel a bit sick.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
I tell you, it's fucking so quick. The football is actually ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they've got so much time all the time as well, doesn't it? I was tired.
But when we're watching it, we're obviously we're seeing it from there. We've seen he's got this much space. We don't really count the second or the half a second it takes that someone's fucking on him. Like, when I was watching, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh yeah, no, that's some elite football right there."
Yeah, they are good, aren't they?
If that's what they're doing, then sort of fair enough. It just the way they were talking about it was like, oh yeah, we had to watch him put the body cam on him and everything. Like this was this huge event, and we just watched him jog on the spot for like 5 minutes, and then that was it. I just thought, what's the point?
Yeah, no, I think they're trialing it. 'Cause I did read that they're going to they picked 2 games this season where someone's going to be wearing a body cam.
Okay, fair enough. But whilst we're on Wolves
So,
Tottenham,
I don't know
we
why.
should we should maybe talk about it. Tottenham got off to a really good start. Brennan Johnson scored early on and then lost it spectacularly in the last few minutes.
Will he learn ever to shut the door, defend, or do you think this is just how he's going to play all season?
This is how he plays football. This is it.
Yeah,
This
he'll
is
win.
it.
He'll win nothing if he plays football like that. You've got to keep hold of leads. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he won't ever win a game with playing like that because he's won loads. But he's got like that. Games like that could cost you like positions in the table. Imagine, I would say 5th, but we'll go 6th. Imagine if he finishes 6th because of like a point or 2 points. You might look at that game and think, God, if he just shut up shop, he'd have won it.
Maybe, but that's football. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. This is how
Yeah.
football's supposed to be played.
Also, do you remember me 2 weeks ago saying their next 6 games are really hard?
Yeah.
And everyone was like,
I think
we'll
you
see.
text us and
We'll see.
reminded us as well about that.
We'll see. That's
He
2
was
out,
well
of,
proud of that one.
2 out of 2 they've lost. I'm just saying I know my shit. Just saying. But
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is as well is that I think what's happened with Tottenham and Ange is that it's a bit like Arsenal last season. They've just caught a lot of teams out. Like, but the season before they were playing defensive football. Like, they weren't really. It wasn't the same sort of thing. This season they've come out playing this new way, high line constantly, and teams were getting a bit blown away. But I think now they've sort of started to watch Ange's teams this season and gone, right, okay.
well, I
this
don't
is how
think
we
they can play
against
that.
the team.
Yeah, I mean, they might be all right next week because obviously Romero's not back, is he? He's a 3-game ban. But
Doggy's back.
I don't think you can play that high line, can you? With like Dyer and whoever else played centre back, Ben Davies. I don't think you can.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you can play that high line with them. They're not fast enough. I mean, who have they got? Oh, no one's got anyone next weekend, have they? They just ruin all the fun. They got Villa, I think, haven't they?
Yeah,
I've got Villa in my head. Do you know what I mean? That ain't gonna be a very good, like, easy game, is it?
No, it's going to be a tough game.
It must
Especially
be
the way
at
Villa
home.
counter.
It must be at home. Yeah, they are at home, but like that ain't gonna be an easy game, is it? Let's be honest. Like Aston Villa, who are on fire, just missing their best centre back, their two best centre backs.
To be fair,
Be a
Villa
good game though.
other than like Liverpool that we've got left to play, Villa is the one I look at it for Arsenal, and I'm not looking forward to it. Like Villa, that's really the one. Now we've played Newcastle, we've got to play Liverpool, and obviously, I look at Villa and think, that game worries me a bit.
Yeah, we must have them soon.
Yeah,
But back to the way Ange plays, I like it. As a fan, that's what you want to see, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh, you want to see your team.
If you're sitting there watching football, you just want to see
Yeah.
two teams just go at it. Like, I'm sure we'll get onto it, but like the City and the Chelsea game, you just want to see 2 teams just fucking go at it.
Mate, have we been... If there's an advert for Premier League football, Monday night's game, like the Chelsea-Spurs one, and Sunday's game, which is Chelsea-Man City, have been 2 of the best games I've seen in a long time. Do you know what I mean? And they were brilliant.
Yeah.
And, mate, like... City looked so good, didn't they? And then, like, Chelsea looked so good. And then you think Chelsea are going to nick this, and then Man City score again. I mean, Man City got very lucky with their 4th goal, didn't they? Like... I mean,
I've got a tweet about the City Chelsea game, so we sort of transition us into it. And the tweet is Sterling did to Walker what everyone thought Doku would do to Reece James. I've seen Kyle Walker be absolutely battered like he was by Raheem Sterling in that game, like for 90 minutes. He's
a world-class player,
him.
Sterling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked
Sterling's
he's
a
not. I'm
world-class
shocked he
player.
ain't got a call up. Like, I know his start of the season weren't great, but the last 3 or 4 games I've seen him play, I think he has been.
Are you telling me that Rashford's in the squad but Sterling isn't? That's a joke?
Yeah,
It's actually a joke.
he scored 1 goal in 12. I mean, so I don't think Sterling scored that many goals, but he looked good at the weekend. Like he looked good against Spurs. He looked good against City. You know, they're two of the top teams in the Premier League. You know, always played well for England. He goes on about how like these players have never let him down, and he won't pick Sterling.
Yeah.
Who in the Euros was it the Euros or the World Cup? He was our top goal scorer.
I think it was a
world class player.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling's really unlucky to not. But he was so good. I mean, I've seen Kyle Walker get. The thing is that Sterling weren't really doing him for pace. Like, who can do Kyle Walker for pace?
Yeah,
it was just his footwork and he was completely like just having him on. I bet Kyle Walker was glad when that game was over. But it was a really good game. And what I did say as well is, I mean, you talk about the game last week, Spurs and Chelsea, but the game before we go for the international break was obviously that 4-4, and the first game back Saturday lunchtime is, I think, Liverpool Man City. Like, what an advert for the Premier League that is. That's either side. That's the first game back Saturday lunchtime, Liverpool City. So
yeah, decent.
Nothing like the Premier League.
Quickly mention something about Chelsea, right? We're all like all through the season we've been saying, they're just not going to score goals. They're not going to score goals. They might not score a lot of goals, right? But Liverpool, they scored twice. Against you lot, they scored twice. Tottenham, they've scored 4. City, they've scored 4. Yeah. They just turning up for like the big games.
It is, right? I agree with what some of the pundits are saying, right? And I've said this as well. And Arsenal play a bit like this. They play better against the teams that come at them. When a team puts 11 men behind the ball, they struggle. Whereas, like all the teams you just mentioned attacked them, didn't they? They come at them.
Yeah.
So they leave gaps behind them, and like you say, they've got so much pace. That Cole Palmer's not slow. Sterling's not slow. Jackson's definitely not slow. Do you know what I mean? Then they can bring that Mudryk on.
Yeah, he's definitely not slow, Jackson. I really I keep watching him, and every goal I see him score, like, I don't know how he's actually scoring goals. Like, he looks awful. Like, he really does look bad.
Mate, he's got like 8. No, how many goals has he got? 8. No, right. 6 Premier League goals or something, isn't he?
He got 3 last week, 1 this week, and then he got 1 against Luton, I think.
Oh, what, 5 goals? I mean, how many's Haaland got? 11?
Oh, I don't know.
13.
Oh, right, okay, no, ignore that then.
I mean, he's scoring recently, like recent weeks. But he just doesn't look.
Will any of you put him in your dream team?
Nah. I thought about it. I
had him and got rid of him.
No, I had him. Oh, we might.
You had him.
Yeah.
Because again, a bit like what I said about. I mean, I have got a Chelsea player in my team, but he's kind of on my bench. But I don't feel any confidence in Chelsea players picking them. Like, just
no.
They're no confidence.
No, me neither.
They're very inconsistent, aren't they? And they all come.
That Cole Palmer looks a player.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised that he let him go. I'm very surprised they let him go.
After that bloke last week saying how good Doku was, what you make of him like thing? It was awful when he got put for diving.
Yeah.
Subbed off after 20 minutes.
Rich James had him on toast.
Rich James is a player. He's a bowler. He's a good player. Just a bit injury prone, isn't he? Again, he got subbed off in the 60th minute as well.
Injury prone? Have you seen that he's only played like 30% of the games in the last 4 years or something like that?
That's what injury prone meant.
He's fucking mad. That's he's more than injury prone. Bloke's made of Weetabix.
Because I still think he's probably him and Kyle Walker are our 2 best right backs in the England team, aren't they? By a long way.
Yeah, and then you've got Trippier as well. You've got so many good right backs.
I'll be honest with you. I think Trippier's got you've missed the best one out already as well, both of you, which I'm a bit upset about.
I know we've missed Ben White, but he's not going to play for England under Southgate. I don't think. I think whatever.
He will never play for England. I still think maybe Sterling's had a falling out. I reckon because I just don't see why you wouldn't pick Sterling. He's been great for England over the year. His England record. It was on the telly the other day. I watched it on Sky Sports News. He's actually got quite a good England record. He scored something 28 goals and got 22 assists in 80 caps for England. It's actually a really good record. You remember he's a winger,
The thing is with Southgate, he's mugged himself off because you can't come out and say I'm going to pick players on form and then not do it.
Yeah.
Completely just ignore it and pick Rashford, who has been fucking horrendous.
That Cole Palmer's only in the England squad because someone else has dropped out, like Maddison. And I didn't even know that Enzi Konza, or whatever his name was English. And he's been called up.
Did he get called up? I thought he didn't.
He got called up. He got called up today.
Oh, okay.
3 of them did. Him, Enzi Konza, Cole Palmer, whatever his name is, and someone else. All 3 of them got called up today. Can't remember the other one was now.
England are already through now, haven't they? They've already qualified for whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't, this is what happens. Even in the Champions League or the Europa League, when teams have qualified, they will put out weaker teams and they'll experiment and they'll see what works. I don't have a problem. I know that Billy said before we shouldn't be dishing out England caps.
I hate it. I hate it. Not in international football. You want your 11 players playing as often together as possible. It's not club football. They don't train together every week. I don't care if it's a friendly against Malta. Put your strongest 11 out, the team that you want to play in the Euros or the World Cup, and let them play together. What's the point of just giving out fucking caps to any old prick who's not going to be in your squad?
And they also can now just, and it's not even like the old days where like you cap someone just to make sure they play for your country, because they can swap caps and swap around and do whatever they want now.
Yeah, you're international. Like, play as often together as possible as a team.
I think it would benefit. I think it would benefit if you played like your strongest team, even though like I don't want to be seeing like Saka playing in these international games. But
just dishing out caps is annoying.
Yeah, how will they ever learn like to play together if they don't play together?
Yeah,
they don't train together every week.
It's nothing worse to turn around after an international tournament and go, well, the guys are still gelling. Like, this team, mate, is gelled. This team is, do you know what I mean? It's the same team we've had currently for the last, 8 years, other than like maybe 1 or 2 Saka, Foden have come in the last 8 years. But like John Stones has been there the whole way. Carl Walker's been there the whole way through. Jordan Pickford's been there the whole way through. Harry Kane.
He should have his 11 now. Like, he should know his 11 right now for the next tournament.
I could pick his 11 if you wanted to.
I think we're going to try that next week.
Ramsdale. What? Saliba's now English. Gabriel's English.
Saliba's got an English name. It's William. Let's get him in the team. Takiro's middle name might be Michael.
Tommy Asu's definitely English.
Tommy Asu. His name's Tommy. He's got to be English. Spinny ain't English. What about Martin Odegaard?
His name's Martin. Yeah,
Martin. I'd have him.
What about Martin?
Funnily enough,
there'd still be people going, no, James Ward-Prowse.
I mean, Erling Haaland was born in.
You can't pick a guy. You can't pick a guy because he can take a good free kick or a corner.
No.
Even though I did put him in my dream team, he got me loads of points.
Yeah, he's good for a dream team, but yeah, I get your point. Like, especially we don't have a lot of quality in midfield. Like, we've got Rice and Bellingham. Apparently, Bellingham is expected to pull out, or has he already pulled out?
Oh, I think he has. To be fair, I think he has pulled out, but you're not going to need him for Malta and whoever else we're playing.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting.
It's just dawning on me that we literally sit through another international break. Like, I know we've been talking about it for the last 10 minutes, but
it's quite depressing.
And every time it comes around.
If you want some uplifting news, Ramsgate drew AFC Wimbledon in the second round of the FA Cup. Oh yeah!
I did see that.
And the mighty Rams will be on TV, ITV, on Monday night.
Ain't they put on at some really shitty time though? Yeah, like Monday night.
I do know a lot of the local lads around here are very upset with the time because, for people that aren't from Ramsgate, if they do listen, it's people we like a drink. We like to go. We like to have a few drinks. Have a little, make a day of it. AFC Wimbledon, London based. That would have been nice. 5:30 on a Saturday. Get up there nice and early on the train. All day of it. To be fair, I had heard a rumour. Now it is just a rumour, but I think they've booked 26 coaches.
Okay.
Wow.
They've been allocated 1,400 tickets. And I believe they go on sale on Saturday. If you go to the game, you can buy it on the gate. I believe. I might be making half of this up. I don't know. They had over 1,000 people there on Saturday for their home game on Saturday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. It's the talk of the town now, mate.
Talk of the town.
Yeah. There ain't a lot going on in Ramsgate. It's the talk of the town. Right, so I think that's enough to talk about. A bit of a shorter episode this week. Not a lot about Arsenal either, so you might have enjoyed it more. Don't forget to hit us up on our socials. Bill likes to get involved in a lot of socials. He's your main man to get at. Thanks for listening. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon.